Joining me in the studio, Bamisile, who is a federal commissioner with the Public Complaints Commission. This will shed more light on this issue and how air travelers in Nigeria can get value for money. We were supposed to have read a statement before Bamisile is joining us, but nevertheless, I mean, a lot of air travelers in Nigeria are having very harrowing experiences with domestic airlines. Their schedules are unduly cancelled, no notification, no compensation. Some are left stranded in the middle of nowhere, midnight and the rest. What is your commission doing?
Well, thank you very much, my brother. I really appreciate this moment and this time to come in and then shed more light on the role and what the Public Complaints Commission has been doing in the couple of weeks. We've received several complaints from citizens regarding airlines, the
Air
injustice,
travelers, yeah.
Air travelers, really, regarding the injustice and issues with delays, cancelled flights, and we also, as members of this country, are not excluded from these issues as well. So what the Chief Commissioner, Abimbola Yusuf, the Honorable Chief Commissioner for the Public Complaints Commission, had done was to come up with a strategy special committee to look into these matters and even several matters as well in the nation. And the aviation industry has come to our light. And what we've done is that we've had to call in some of the airlines. I don't have to mention names now, but we've had investigative case.
It's virtually all the airlines. So if you mention names, I mean, these are known facts. You won't be libeling anybody, will you?
I know. But again,
it's virtually all the airlines.
Well, we don't even have enough. I mean, we only have 11, if I'm correct.
So why are they taking more than they can chew? Why are they putting the people in jeopardy?
That is where the issue is. So their controlling bodies, the NCCA, are the ones who manage and control the airlines. Even FAN, Federal Civil Aviation of Nigeria as well, they are the ones who manage these airlines and also FAN as well. So NCCA are the ones in charge. And we've also called for the MD to come in. We have scheduled a meeting on the 2nd of August to have a meeting with them. We've taken responses from the airlines. They've given us their scenarios. We've taken also from the FAN. We've met with them. We've visited the airports, some of the airports. And if I say to you, the airports are in deplorable states. Toilets not working, air conditioners not working. These are issues that has to be brought to urgent attention. Because if you realize that travelers have a contract with the airlines, and the obligations of the airlines is to airlift me from one particular location to the other on time. Now, it may interest you, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well, that when you miss your scheduled period of checking in, what happens automatically is that it's a no-show, and you're asked to pay immediately.
So why are the passengers not being compensated when they delay their flights and the rest?
Those are the issues that we're dealing with. Now, some passengers have written to the commission, and we have compiled the list and sent to the airlines. We've discussed all these issues.
Are you going to be pressing for compensation?
Oh, absolutely, because the law that guides the contract, it's a contract that the airlines are servicing. The laws that guide this contract says that after 2 hours of a delay, you should be provided with refreshments. Now, if you have stayed more than 5 hours at the airport, considering the time.
This refreshment is not defined because we know when we pay all the monies we pay to fly. They just give us a piece of cake or, muffin or something.
Well, some form of refreshment to at least, that is their obligation.
To assuage that delay.
Yes. Yeah. And then after 5 hours of delay, they are to compensate you, either to cancel the flight and then compensate you or book you into a hotel. If, for instance, you are within an environment where you cannot go back home. That's what the law states. Now, Nigerians or travelers are not even aware of this, so they can't even press or make demands. Now,
well, sometimes, you know, for the Nigerians, I mean, it's too much of a burden. We're overburdened with everything.
No. We can't see. It's enough is enough.
Yeah.
We need to begin to speak. We have elected people in offices. It is important that you demand. And this is a contract. I mean, it's a basic, simple contract. You have a care of duty to the passengers. If you haven't fulfilled those contracts, you should be compensated.
Yeah, people just know federal character, federal complaint,
public complaints,
commission, and the rest. And a lot of Nigerians don't even know that, you know, they can come there and get a bit of public issues, you know, settled or looked into and the rest. How are you, you know, making yourself known to the public? Any collaboration with other government agencies?
Oh, yes.
National orientation agencies?
Oh, yes. So, I mean, let me use this as a quick medium of advertising the Public Complaints Commission.
You will pay.
Now, the Public Complaints Commission,
you're going to pay.
Well, that's why you brought me here.
We'll bring the books for you to, you know, to sign.
So what it is that you've got the head office here situated in Abuja, and you have 36 plus the FCT, 37 honorable commissioners representing each state. It may interest you that each of the Nigerian states with the FCT has an area of, as a state office with the honorable commissioner residing over that office. And you've got directors, officers within those offices. Each local government, at least we have close to 500 offices in all the 700 local governments in Nigeria, where we receive cases as well. Now, I think what the problem is that people have not used this office and do not understand the powers that this office is.
Because they don't know about you.
Well, you know, the commission has been in existence since 1975.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much visibility do you get?
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We've got billboards, we've got advertorials, we're on social media. There are cases that we address even on social medias as well. The point is that people are not using, and it's free of charge. It is the last hope for the common man to seek redress or to get justice for any sort of administrative actions or injustice taken on them by federal, state, local government, or any registered company under the allied acts of the country.
What kind of legal powers do you have in enforcing some, you know, perceived injustice to people? Do you approach the courts?
Oh, yes, we can. So in looking at cases when we realize that, there are certain injustices that have been meted on individuals wrongly, if there are criminal issues, we have to refer those cases to the police or the EFCC or even the courts. We have such powers. We cannot convict, but we can look into issues and address them in a very civil manner.
And you talked about the airlines now, because majorly that being on the front burner, you know, affecting quite a number, the air traveling Nigerians, I would say. And the response so far from the airlines, encouraging? Are you sure they're going to pay the compensation to? Oh yes,
it's binding by law. Their cancellation, their flights. It's horrible when you have a flight for 11. You're on your way to the airport. You've left. no airport is close to the town. You at least have minimum of 30 minutes journey time, and then you're arriving at the airport, and then they say to you,
Abuja now, it will cost you 15 to 20,000 naira from the central business district to go to the airport by boat.
Yeah, so that's okay. What about the time loss? The manners that you're losing, you get to the airport and then you have to wait doing nothing because your flight has been cancelled, whereas they could have informed you much earlier. Now they've taken responsibility for their actions, and that's encouraging for some of them, and they've also pointed fingers.
Yes,
to some of the agencies.
Yes, indeed, they've pointed fingers. Okay, just to get the viewers to understand, interrogation.
Yes.
Let's quickly read this story. And Nigeria's Ombudsman, the Public Complaints Commission, has said it will push for the implementation of existing legislations and push for new ones to check the excesses of airline operators in the country who have formed the habit of breaching the terms of agreement with customers without any compensation. The Commission stated this in Abuja as officials of Air Peace Airline appeared before it to respond to petitions. Tunji Olanikbekun compiled this report.
Officials of Air Peace Airline were at the Public Complaints Commission to defend several queries leveled against the airline. The panel has received complaints of alleged flight delays and even outright cancellation without adequate notice and compensation to customers.
Flight was 8:05 and left at 6:45 p.m. 8:05 a.m. scheduled flight, left at 6:45 p.m. for Lagos, 27th of April. Nobody gave me water, nobody spoke to me, and I recorded it.
The flight did not leave as scheduled. They were at the airport for 10 hours. They arrived in Accra at about 2 a.m. the next day. No compensation, no apologies. Some had to cancel the flight, some had to get another flight to get to Accra.
In response, officials of Air Peace admitted to some of the allegations, especially the issue of flight delays and cancellations. They, however, said many of the cases are mostly beyond the airline's control.
The operator is having problems. And that's why I say, I thank you that let's blow it open so that everyone will take their own away. It's not an operator thing only. There are constituent factors, a lot of things interplay come into this before we see what happens at the tail end. The poor operator, just because he linked to the passenger, so that is where at the tail end of it, it's like a relay race. If we don't deliver that button, then all the races before don't count anymore.
Air Peace as an organization, we do our review, operational review, and the essence of this is to tackle issues that pop up that affect our operations. It's not like we are going to sack FAN. It's not like we are going to say, oh, we are not using FAN's facility again. We look for ways around it to solve the problem that is existing. And trust me, sirs, these ways we are seeing around it, they are costly to the organization.
The Public Complaints Commission was not convinced by explanations from the airline, insisting that all airline must fulfill its contractual agreement with the customers, and where it cannot be achieved, they should pay compensations to their customers.
Going forward, we will ensure that any flyer, any frequent flyer, or anyone flying any of the airlines, not Air Peace alone, within the shores of this country, are treated accordingly based on that contract. It's an obligation, and that obligation has to be met.
If this were to be, let's say, United States, you know what would have happened to your airline, I'm sure you know. There are delays in US. But when there are delays, you see them coming to you because they know the next thing the passenger is going to do. But here, they are not going to do anything to us. We are airlines. After all, this is Nigeria. That is just the attitude that we see. You people need to train your staff that you place on a public space. Most of them are rude, uncut, very uncivilized, and that is the truth.
The Public Complaints Commission panel subsequently embarked on its own fact-finding mission to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, where it met with officials of Federal Airport Authority, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, as well as other airline operators who have also been invited to appear before the Commission.
Okay, we still have in the studio Bamisile, like we said before, is a federal commissioner with the Public Complaints Commission, and is here. We're still discussing this issue. Today, it's the airlines, that has come to the fore. Nigerians' experiences too with the financial institutions, the banks, are really nothing to write home about. Let me read some of the charges for you. They'll charge you for servicing your ATM card. They'll charge you for sending emails to you just to give you your account balance. They will charge 1,001 charges, Mr. Bamisile.
Yes.
How is your commission dealing with this?
Well, again, see, what we've done is proactively take on these challenges.
Without waiting for the complaints from Nigerians.
Without waiting
well,
for
because you are
complaints
part of the society
We
and
are
you
part
feel
of
it too.
anything that we feel, we know that millions of Nigerians are going through the same as well.
Great.
Yes. So we've taken on this. We've written to the central bank and asking for a meeting with the new acting central bank governor to look into these matters as well, because they see it as an oversight over all the banks. Now, these charges are burdensome. They are not things that are...
They are ridiculous.
They are ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
And I think it's a thing that Nigerians have come to a point where they are able to embrace these issues without complaining. Or maybe they're tired. I really do not understand it. But I think for us as a commission, what we're doing is to create more awareness that this is a place where you will come in and your complaint will be listened to and addressed adequately.
How are you going to redress that beyond having a meeting with the governor of the central bank and the rest?
So we've got
the
to look
bankers' body itself.
So we've got to look at the books. We've got to look at what the contract of the law says. Those charges, are they necessary? And if they are, what are the what justifies those charges? I mean, there are deductions. There are people who get deductions off their account without even understanding what they're for. I have a case before me where a lady was charged by an airline, again a foreign airline, twice. She reached out to the airline over this period, and then she realized that the money was not charged by the airline but by the bank. She called that bank, I do not want to mention the name, called the bank, and the bank goes, oh, sorry, and this was for 6 months, within 6 months. For a period of 6 months, over 259,000 naira was deducted out of her account without, it was deducted twice.
And it took more than 6 months. For
6
it to
months.
be,
And it was when the airline then got back and said, excuse me, this charge was not from us. We only charged you once. Check with your bank. The bank called the bank, and then the bank said, oh, sorry, it was an error. Before Monday, this was on Friday, before Monday, you should get your money back after 6 months.
And what measures did you bring
These are
to
issues.
bear on the bank?
So we've written to them where we're calling them in as well. So we need to understand what went wrong, because a lot of them will then begin to blame it on IT. But again, see, there are two sides to a coin. So if the law says if I borrow money from you for a certain period of time, you charge me an interest. So if my money stays with you for a period of time, without you unlawful deduction, you should pay interest and compensation as well. So as much as possible, we're looking at all these issues and trying to redress and address them as well.
All right, there are quite a number of issues to interrogate and the rest. How do you liaise with, the military? Because now they are having the military civilian departments and the rest, to check the excesses of officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces. I think the police too, they have something like that. Any kind of collaboration?
Well, again, to a certain limit, we cannot, our powers do not cover the military. So Air Force, the Nigerian military, the Navy, our powers do not cover. I mean, we can report such cases, and then they have their bodies within those institutions to address such
look
issues.
at it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so very much. I think the viewers are better for it today.
I hope so.
Bamisile, but more really needs to be done by your commission.
We
reach
are
out
definitely
to
working
more
on it.
Nigerians so that
Yes.
they know, the powers they have and how redress can be sought, not necessarily, resulting to violence,
Absolutely.
fisticuffs, or
Yes.
sometimes you may not even have to go to court. You know.
Yeah, in
And,
most cases, I mean,
yeah.
this year alone, I can tell you that we've had over 5,000 cases resolved without going to court.
Good.
Issues with business issues or compensations not being paid or money's being borrowed. I think the people in the hinterland and the villages use our services more than
Fantastic. That's really good to know. Thank you so
Yes.
much, very much, Kayode Bamisile,
Thank you.
as a federal commissioner with the Public Complaints Commission.
Thank you very much.